So I've got to say, I've watched Rock Feed and I found Allan Kovac's comments to be anything but transparent. I got to keep my eyes on the road, but let me tell you something. You know, Mick has a degenerative physical disease, not a degenerative mental disease. And for Allan Kovac to say that Mick's attorney, Mick's camp, his reps, whoever, the people on Mick's side are committing elder abuse because he has a degenerative physical condition, and they're leading him astray, essentially. Basically, it sounds like what are they doing? Are they denying him treatment so that he'll file a lawsuit? Are they telling him that if he doesn't file a lawsuit, he won't have a place to live? They're basically what he is saying, because, you know, he's an attorney, I'm an attorney, a first semester law student could tell you what he's saying is slanderous. You know, he says slander in the sense that Mick is allegedly performing a smear campaign on Motley, but at the same time and in the same breath that he says that he has a degenerative disease, which doesn't specify as physical, which is probably understood by most Motley fans, but in the same breath, he talks about elder abuse. He's casting this sort of notion that Mick is being either forced or tricked into, or anything but his own volition, suing Motley Crue. Mick is standing up for himself. Mick does not have diminished capacity that I'm aware of, and I certainly don't think that Allan Kovac is aware of any diminished capacity for Mick Mars. You know, Mick Mars is not under duress. Mick Mars isn't being forced to do this. Mick Mars is doing this because he wants an accounting of the books. And this is the only way that he knows to do it, because maybe he feels that he can't get, an accurate accounting. You know what I mean? This is not, such groundbreaking, startling revelations in the music business. There's tons of times when, people don't know what in fact the band makes. And the reality of the matter is that if we're going to look at this from a legal standpoint and a corporate legal standpoint, we saw something very similar with Juan Croucier of Rat, who didn't tour with Rat for 20 years, who wasn't part of the WEB group that was started by Warren DeMartini, Bobby Blotzer, and Stephen Pearcy, and which ultimately removed Stephen Pearcy, and it became a Bobby and Warren operation from probably the early 2000s until a judge not only found that Stephen had an ownership stake, but Juan did as well, when Bobby took out Rat and he was the only original member. And Warren DeMartini doesn't tour, but he still makes profit from Rat's touring, as does Juan, as does Bobby. So the reality of the matter is that just because Mick doesn't tour does not extinguish his ownership interest in Motley Crue, the brand. And as a result of him not touring, they can't force him into signing a severance agreement to get 20% of his share. That's his share. But that's the legal argument between Motley and Mick Mars. What I find to be absolutely disgusting is that Allan Kovac, an attorney that should know better, would use the term elder abuse when referencing what's going on between Mick Mars and Motley Crue. And furthermore, Mr. Kovac, you, sir, open yourself up to sanctions if Mick Mars' attorney wants to take you before the bar that licenses you. Because what you're doing, essentially, is you're accusing that attorney, you're questioning that attorney's integrity. You're saying that that attorney, in some way, shape, or form, is either complicit or may even be participating in the elder abuse of Mick Mars to file frivolous lawsuits against Motley Crue in what you call an alleged smear campaign. You should be very careful, because if I was Mick Mars' attorney, I'd sue your ass.